Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB closing time show Sunday, May 23rd. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you, ready to break down the Sunday MLB slate. Sunday's always that day that I'm not scared of much in my life, but betting baseball on Sundays, yeah, I've become a little bit scared of that because Sundays have not treated me very well this season, and I'll be the first to admit that. But hey, it's a new Sunday this week. Today, maybe things can be a little bit different. Let's see how things transpire. Let's see what we can find in terms of winning and winners in terms of value. Let's start with the Chicago White Sox and the New York Yankees. Dallas Keuchel, Jamison Tyone, your pitchers here. We've got the Yankees here around a minus 150 favorite, totaled 9 in this game. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the White Sox, 4.44 ERA for him going into this matchup, and actually has held most of these Yankee bats in check. Aaron Judge and Urshela are two guys that have hit him, but limited at bats for Urshela. And Judge is 3 for 9, 333 average. So, it's good numbers, but it's a limited sample size. Jamison Tyone, on the other hand, has come into this start and has actually fared very well against the White Sox for the most part. There's a bunch of guys that have goose eggs against him. Now, this season's been a different story for him. 5.73 ERA, so his current form is not good, but he does have a good track record against the White Sox. So which one's it going to be here in this game? The White Sox have certainly had a tough start here in this series. They've lost the first 2 games. Friday night was a heartbreaker, 2-1. Yesterday, Garrett Cole was just magnificent, just shutting down the White Sox lineup, and the Yankees got to Dylan Cease about midway through the game, and that was all she wrote. You give that Yankee bullpen a 5-6 run lead like the Yankees did yesterday, they're always going to be in pretty good shape. So I don't have a strong feel on this game one way or the other because Tyone shut down the White Sox, but boy, he's just in rough shape right now. You'd think this is a chance for the White Sox lineup maybe to get right a little bit, but they don't have much success against Tyone. So that's the one thing that I'm scared about. I do lean a little to this White Sox team total over, but probably going to stay off it. What's your thoughts here, Connor?
Yeah, I know the White Sox yesterday, they didn't get it. Now I'm getting a good price, but I think they are here. Tyone, he hasn't pitched that well that I haven't been impressed with. Keuchel's been pretty good, and he's got pretty good numbers that you mentioned against these Yankees. Yeah, it's up to you. Maybe the White Sox team total over 4.5 plus money. The Yankees over 4.5 minus 121. I know they scored runs yesterday, and that meant Cole Cruz, the bullpen Cruz, but they've been hitting a bit better lately. But before yesterday, like I talked about, I think they had 2 runs in their last 3 or 4 games. That's it. So I definitely wouldn't be on the Yankees team total. I think there's got to be a little value with Keuchel here in the White Sox. See if they can get one of these games in Yankee Stadium. They're almost plus 140. Maybe if you like them first 5, full game. I kind of like both. I'd be on the White Sox here. I'd rather take them getting plus money here. I don't think these teams are too big of a difference, and I don't think Tyone should be a minus 150 here at all. So I'll take the White Sox plus money here.
Yeah, I think this is again, I like those good teams avoiding a sweep angles. You may have talked me on the White Sox. I was leaning that way, but I'm like, I lost with the White Sox yesterday. Do I want to come back on? Maybe today, because look, Tyone is not Garrett Cole. I think that much we know. No question about that. Baltimore, Washington. Harvey Corbin, your matchup here. Washington minus 180 to minus 190 home favorites. 9.5 the total in this game. About as easy as it gets yesterday. Best bet, Baltimore at Washington over the total yesterday. What was it, 6-5 by the time it got to the 4th inning. Nice to have an easy winner like that. You might see runs today as well, actually, because, Corbin's a lefty. We know the Orioles. That's usually a good fit for the Oriole lineup facing a southpaw. Corbin has actually pitched mostly better in his recent starts, but last start he labored quite a bit against the Cubs, only got through 5 innings, gave up 3 runs in that start, was really in trouble, 8 hits as well in those 5 innings, so kind of struggled in that start. We'll have to wait and see how he goes here. He had, like I said, his last 6 starts, he's pitched better after those brutal first 2 starts overall, but I think the Orioles against a lefty, they've been better. It's a decent matchup here, and Corbin is a 4.71 ERA pitcher in his career against Baltimore. So not great numbers there. On the flip side, Matt Harvey is trending in the wrong direction. Clearly 5.93 ERA. Last start against Tampa Bay was a disaster. 6 runs, 7 hits, knocked out of the game in the second inning of that start against the Rays. So this is over or pass for me. And you got 2 bullpens that have had to dig into their pens extensively the last couple of games. So again, Sundays you're always leery of some overs because you get a lot of lower scoring games, I find, on this particular day of the week. But I still wouldn't be interested in an under here. Over or nothing for me at 9.5. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, Matt Harvey's has decent numbers against these Nats and the lineup, but I got remembrance in my head of his last start because I think I had him or the under. I can't remember. I just don't love it. It is plus money here with the Orioles. You saw they jumped on with a bunch of runs yesterday. Then the Nats came back, scored a ton. You're right. The Orioles hit lefties a lot better than anyone else. Corbin hasn't been very good. Kind of just been average. Either he's on or off. I've never been a big backer of Corbin. And laying minus 180, I can't take the Nats here. I know they've kind of woke up the bats yesterday. The only chance you have with them is taking them the run line, and that's plus 105. Maybe if you want to take over the team total, you got to rely though on these Nats getting a ton of runs again. You know what I mean? They got 12 yesterday. Can they get at least 6 today? Is plus 110. Maybe look that way. But I'm going to stay away. I kind of want to take Orioles first 5, but I just can't do it with Harvey on the mound. So I'm going to pass. And lean over. I like your over, of course, in the game. I think full game. I wish it was a 9, but 9.5 minus 105 is pretty good, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys mentioning, wow, this total's gotten really high. Like we like the over, but now 9.5. Even the first 5, David Sharp saying 5, now 5.5. Well, odds makers, unfortunately, they're aware of the same shit we are in terms of, hey, the weather's warming up. We're getting 80-degree temperatures now in the Northeast. You know, that's hitters' weather, and they're adjusting the totals, I think, a little bit accordingly. That's definitely a part of the issue. All right, Boston, Philly, Eduardo Rodriguez and Zach Wheeler, your pitching matchup here. We've got the Red Sox here on that minus. Let me just see here. I've lost my spot here. There we go. Boston, Philly. Total here in this one, 8.5. I'm telling you what, this is still a shocking price, in my opinion, for the Boston Red Sox going into this game. Like, I know Wheeler has been pretty solid overall for the Phillies, 2.52 ERA on the season. Absolutely terrific his last 3 starts. Sub-1 ERA, 3-0 in his last 3 starts are the Philadelphia Phillies. And right now, if you're Philly, this is the guy you want on the mound, no question. When you're trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, when you're trying to salvage 1 game in this series. And then you've got Eduardo Rodriguez on the other hand, 5.63 ERA his last 3 starts, 5.04 ERA on the road, which is absolutely nothing to write home about for him in his recent form. However, against the Phillies, 1.32 ERA for him. So he has got a pretty good track record in the past against the Philadelphia Phillies lineup. We'll have to see if that continues here. There are only really 2 guys, McCutchen and Segura, who have had any kind of success against Eduardo and Wheeler. Not much sample size for a lot of these Red Sox, and not a lot of success either. So interesting game here. Maybe a first 5 under, because look, Philly, Eduardo's not been great, but I think this could be a bounce back situation for him. I think he's still a little bit better pitcher than his recent numbers show, and the Phillies aren't hitting, consistently right now. How many friggin' runners did the Phillies leave on base yesterday? Both of those teams, for that matter, in that Red Sox Phillies game. Absolutely sickening, yeah, because we both had over the total. It was absolutely brutal to see it pan out that way. And look, the Phillies are a little bit banged up right now, too. In this lineup, when you look at what they're going through with Kingery out, with Gregorius with the elbow injury, with Real Muto with the wrist injury. I mean, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries and a little bit of a shorthanded lineup right now. So I think Eduardo can go back in there today. You know, not been good lately. This is a matchup on paper where if you're a decent pitcher, and I think he is, you bounce back, because the Phillies lineup is depleted right now. So I would look first 5 under in this game, and we know Wheeler's been just absolutely dominant here at home and in great form overall. Connor, what do you think here? Red Sox, Phillies.
Yeah, real quick, I might stay off, but I don't mind your look. The first 5 under 4 is minus 125. I think it's a little high there, the juice. Rodriguez has pitched well against the Phillies in his 1 or 2 starts he's pitched there. Wheeler's been good his last 5 starts, 2-0, 170 ERA, and he pitches well at home. This is where I want to be. Tough game. Red Sox have been super hot. How do you not want, go with Rodriguez, take them with the plus money? The Phillies, the Red Sox left a ton of guys on base. Each team hit some solo homers. And from the 6th inning on, there was first and second, bases loaded every inning, and they couldn't push anything across. It drove me nuts. I had such a good day yesterday, but not winning my best bet, as we talk about, drives me nuts. These guys can't get a base hit, driving a run. Yeah, maybe the first 5 under. Like I said, I don't love the minus 125. If you're like the Red Sox, keep riding them. They're plus 115 here. Maybe go full game, get the Phillies bullpen. I'm going to stay away. Phillies just haven't hit. And team totals for both. If you think they're going to hit today, they're both over 3.5. Red Sox are only minus 108. Phillies are minus 120 if you think you get 4 runs out of these teams. But I don't want anything to do with it, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah, Wheeler's been so good that I'm not backing Boston, but I could only look to Boston at this price. They're still the better team. They're the healthier team. I'm tempted to take Boston, but boy, Wheeler is that guy that has just been absolutely lights out. And look, if the Phillies are going to snap the skid, today's their best chance to do it. I still think Boston at that price is a little crazy, but I'm going to stay off. Tampa Bay, Toronto in this one. Next up, we've got the Rays looking to sweep the Jays here. Waka and Ryu on the mound here. Blue Jays minus 160, home favorites. Total 9 shaded to the over in this game. We'll see how it goes here for Michael Waka Flocka Flame, as I like to call him here for this Rays team. Not a big fan, to be honest with you, in Michael Waka, but he's actually been maybe slightly better than I thought he'd be coming into this season. We'll see if he can keep it up here. This to me looks like a good situation though for the Blue Jays. Good team. Trying to avoid a home sweep. And if I'm not mistaken, this is their final game at Dunedin, Florida, home game. Then they play on the road, I think, a couple series. And then the next time they play a home game, they're in Buffalo for the rest of the season. I think this is their last game that they'll be playing in Dunedin. So I'm not saying that's a huge situational angle that they want to go out on a high in Dunedin, but it's something to consider. They're trying to avoid a sweep. They got their best pitcher on the mound, Hyunjin Ryu, a lefty, and we know the Rays have been feeble against lefties most of the season so far. I think Toronto in a first 5 look minus a half a run is the way I would go here in this one. It's a good spot for Toronto. They're a good team still. They've had a tough couple of games in this series, close games, close losses. They got the better arm today. Toronto first 5 laying the half run for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
I'm with you here. I think this is the first 5 half a run. And I got my guy, Ryu. I love backing this guy on the bump. He's just a solid pitcher. He's got a great changeup, solid curve. I got the first 5 half a run. I also looked the first 5 under 5. It's all about Waka. This kind of happened with Ryu last week against the Red Sox. I forget who was pitching, but it was 5-0. I pushed. So I'm going to leery the Blue Jays could get more than 5, but I think there's value. First 5 under 5 is minus 120. Even if it dropped down to even money, 4.5, I think would be okay. But I'm with you here. First 5, a half a run with the Jays. I think they can get right a little bit. And I lean this first 5 under 5. I think there's some value there.
All right, Jays first 5 and a lean to the first 5 under. Minnesota, Cleveland, Happ and Plesac. Cleveland here in this game, right around minus 140. Home favorites, total 9 shaded to the under in this one. Look, Cleveland, obviously, we know is the better of these two teams. Obviously, they're 24-19, Twins 16-29. I still think Happ's a capable pitcher. Look, Happ's been brutalized by the mashing lefty White Sox in a couple of his starts. But really, if you remove those starts from his record this season, it's actually been pretty good in most of his other starts. And we know this Cleveland team against lefty pitching can sometimes be a little bit dicey in terms of trusting them. So could this be a bounce back start here for J Happ today? We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, take it easy on him. He got mashed a couple times by the White Sox, but before that, he had been absolutely rolling along. He faced the Indians earlier this year and pitched outstanding. 2 runs, 4 hits, 7 innings here against this Cleveland team. Like, I get it. The Twins are hot garbage. It takes a little bit of a leap of faith right now to get behind this baseball team. There's no question about that. I understand that completely. But, I think Happ still is being penalized a little bit here by the fact that, he just got beaten up by the White Sox, who kill lefties, essentially. I think he's still had a pretty good season overall if you take out those 2 starts. So I think this could be a bounce-back situation here for Happ. On the flip side, Zach Plesac, I'll tell you what, he's kind of trended a bit backward in his last few starts, not been quite as dominant as he was early on. Last start, 5 runs, 7 hits, 7 innings of work, 3 home runs allowed. Although Cleveland escaped with the win in that game, 6-5. Can he carry it over here against the Minnesota Twins? He faced them earlier this season. 3 runs allowed, 5 hits, 7.2 innings, did pitch pretty well. This could be a first 5 under here. And believe it or not, I'm actually slightly leaning a little Minnesota, but you start looking at Plesac's numbers at home, pretty solid overall and going back to last year. So I might lay off Minnesota, but I might get on that first 5 under the total here with Happ and Plesac. Plesac still pretty good overall this season, even after a rough outing last time. And like I say, Happ, a lefty, good matchup against Cleveland. And like I say, let's not penalize Happ too much for getting beaten up by the White Sox. Other than those 2 starts against Chicago, he's been pretty good this season. What do you think here, Conor? Minnesota, Cleveland.
Yeah, Plesac gave up those 3 homers to the Angels after pitching well before that. And Happ, like you mentioned, just got rocked by the White Sox, who ripped lefties a couple starts. But I think he'll be decent. I think, the Twins would be my lean here, getting plus 130. Maybe a plus 120 first 5 if you don't want the Twins bullpen. Not many guys. And the Indians, they don't hit lefties. The Rosario guys, they's 5 for 16, 5 for 9. They got some home runs off Happ. But other than that, nobody's really hit him. And the Indians don't hit lefties. I lean the first 5 under 4.5, minus 105. It's kind of what are you going to get out of these 2 pitchers, though? The good or the bad. If you get good, this first 5 under will be under. If not, I think it could go over. But I lean Twins here. Give me the Twins at plus money here and lean to the first 5 under.
All right, Twins plus money. That's the way I'm thinking too, and lean first 5 under as well. Definitely. I agree with side and total there, first 5. Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Freddie Peralta, and Luis Castillo on the mound here. We've got the Brewers slight favorites on the road at Great American, minus 120. The total 8 shaded to the over in this game. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers. Overall season numbers for him actually pretty good. 2.4 ERA. On the season for Freddie Peralta. His last start against the Atlanta Braves was actually excellent. Last 2 starts, in fact. He's working on a 13-inning shutout streak. Freddie Peralta coming into this start today against Cincinnati. 13 consecutive innings without allowing a run. Pretty good stuff. 16 strikeouts during that span. We'll see if he can carry it over to this one against the Reds. He hasn't faced them in a couple of years, so we'll see how it goes for him here. Luis Castillo just continues to be you talk about a hugely underachieving season. That's what he's having. He labored again against San Francisco, only got to 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, got absolutely crushed before that by Colorado. It's just been an absolutely dreadful 2021 season so far for Luis Castillo. I'm definitely looking at no other direction but Milwaukee here. For a first 5 and full game split for me. I get it that they're a slight road favorite, but their lineup's been a little bit sketchy at times. But I think they've got the better arm here. They did beat Cincinnati 4-3 to take the second game after dropping the first. And look, the Reds have a couple of key sticks out of the lineup. Moustakas is out. Votto is out. Nick Senzel now out indefinitely with a knee injury. So that's a little bit of a depleted Cincy lineup right now. I would lean Brewers first 5 full game split. A Milwaukee team total over is not a bad look. Hell, the full game over I think could even get there, even with Cincinnati without a couple of sticks, because Peralta's been good, but Peralta is also a guy that gives up the fly ball, and that's not a good profile on a hot day in Cincinnati in this little ballpark. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a tougher navigation for Peralta in this start with the weather the way it is and given his pitching style. So small lean here over the total in this one just because, and it's 8. And I think it's 8 because of the fact you got Castillo on one side, named commodity, even though he struggled, and Peralta in good form. So at 8, I would only look over the total here, Reds and Brewers. What do you think here, Conor? Milwaukee, Cincy?
Yeah, with the way they've been pitching, especially Castillo, I'd only kind of look over as well. Peralta's been pretty good. this year. I lean Brewers. I'll just take first 5, half a run, get a little plus money on it. Castillo, until he shows it, he's a fade for me. And I think he's going to get better as the year goes on. He's too good. He's got too good of stuff, I think, but he just hasn't been good at all. It's hard to trust the Brewers, though, to hit. They got that win for me yesterday. I got them at plus money. They moved way up to plus 150, so I had to take it kind of before game time. But I'd lean Brewers here a little bit. First 5, a half a run in this one.
All right, lean into the Brewers here in this one as well. Yeah, first 5 and Josh Hader. Yeah, no Hader today means, yeah, first 5 might be absolutely the better option if you like Milwaukee. Mets and the Marlins. We've got Miami minus 145 in that range as home favorites here. The total 7 in this one. I don't have a really good feel for either of these starters today. Cody Poteet for the Marlins on the mound. Jordan Yamamoto for the New York Mets. Yamamoto is a guy, making a start. We'll see how he fares here. He's made 1 appearance for the Mets already this year. Early May, 1 run, 4 hits, and 2.2 innings there. So very limited sample size. Cody Poteet, he pitched 5 scoreless innings Tuesday against the Philadelphia Phillies in the bullpen. We'll see how he does now, stretching him out a little bit in terms of a starting role. 2 earned runs across 10 innings so far this season. He's pitched at least 5 innings in each of his previous appearances. So he's actually really don't have to worry about stretching him out too much. I'm sure if you're Don Mattingly, you get him through 5 innings, you're happy if he can give you that much. And he's shown you the ability to do that. So it may not be that big adjustment for him going from bullpen or relief role or long relief role to the starting role. When you're going from relief to the starting role, it can be an adjustment, but when it's long relief to the starting rotation, it's not that big of an adjustment. So this could be a decent opportunity here for Poteet. And look, he's got a 1.8 ERA on the season. He's been good. So I understand why the Marlins are favored here, but I still don't want to lay this much with them. Not going to get involved at the current number. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, Marlins huge favorites here. I think even with Poteet, his first 2 major league starts, he's looked really good. I don't know. I don't take the Mets often, but I think it's a pretty good value spot. I know they got Yamamoto on the mound, but plus 140. I'm looking at the Mets here and their team total. Can they hit here? Can the Mets hit? If they can get 4 runs, they're over 3.5 plus 116. It's kind of staring at me here as well. I'm going to lean that way. I know the Marlins beat them 3-1 yesterday, and Poteet's looked good his first few starts in the bigs, but I'm going to lean with the Mets. I think there's a lot of value here with them here today.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that in terms of, I understand with Poteet being favored, but Miami always in this mid-favorite range. When you're talking about a lineup that can be a little bit sketchy one game to the next, it's always a little bit dicey. Right now, after what's happened in the last 2 games of this series, Pittsburgh is looking forward to getting out of Atlanta after today. It's the Pirates and the Braves back at it for the final game of their series. JT Brubaker for the Pirates, Max Fried for the Atlanta Braves. We've got Atlanta near that minus 200 price range right here. Total 8 across the board. Certainly could see a first 5 under here in this game. I mean, Brubaker's been capable. Brubaker's been solid for the most part for the Pittsburgh Pirates since he's been in their rotation this year. We'll see if he can keep it going here. I mean, the Atlanta Bats are back in form again. 26 runs in the last 2 games against this Pirates team. So they have absolutely done significant damage here against this Pirate pitching staff the last 2 games. See if they can keep it going here. None of these Braves have faced Brubaker before, though. So keep that in mind. And sometimes that's an advantage to the pitcher. Max Fried, since that injury, he looks completely revitalized. I mean, you trace it back, Connor, to the 2-3 brutal starts he had to begin the season. Then he went on the IL, came back, and his 3 May starts, 3 runs allowed in 17 innings of work. So he's been absolutely outstanding, looking like Max Fried of last year. So to me, this is first 5 under, I believe. Brubaker's been solid. Atlanta has no track record in the past against him. They haven't seen him. A little unfamiliarity. And on the flip side, Fried in excellent form. I think we stay under the total here, first 5 innings. What do you think, Connor?
I think so too. That's right what I looked at in this one. Brubaker's been good all year. He finally gave up more than 3 runs his last start. This is the kind of guy, though, the Braves hit, a hard-throwing righty like Brubaker. Freed's been nothing but good since he got off the IL, like you mentioned. And the Pirates can't hit. So I like the first 5 under 4 here at even money. Maybe you think the Pirates in the first 5. Brubaker's pitched really well. I'm not going to take it today, but that's a huge number. Freed's getting back up when he starts pitching like this. He's going to start laying minus 200s, 240, 50s if he's rolling. But I'm just going to stick with the first 5 under 4 here at even money.
By the way, this is the second day game of the season for Brubaker. He's only had 1 day game this year, but he was really good in that previous day game. So there's something maybe to that. He can pitch well in the afternoon. So keep an eye on that. So that's another reason why I'm making a case for that first 5 under. Detroit, Kansas City, Mize and Chris Bubich on the mound here for the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City minus 150, home favorites in that range. Total 9 across the board here in this one. Look, this is probably a good matchup for Bubik here against this Tigers team. Not great against lefties, the Tigers. The Royals 7-5 win yesterday against the Tigers. We'll see if they can carry that over here to this game. And I like the over in the game yesterday with Singer and Boyd. Might see a different story transpire here today. Mize is still a guy that I think has got very capable. How about the fact that Mize, by the way, Tigers are 6-1 to the under in his 7 starts this season. So there's a little trend that's unfolding. He's been excellent in his last 3. This is the Casey Mize I was expecting to see. You know, the way he's pitched in the last 3 games, given up, just 1.8 runs per game in his last 3 games. His road ERA is actually pretty good, Casey Mize. And 2 starts against the Royals. The first start was rough. Second start was much better. 2 runs allowed against them. Bubich, you look at the way he pitched in his first starting effort 5 days ago against Milwaukee. Shutout ball, 6 innings, 1 hit allowed. Really good stuff. Again, I talked about first 5 under the last game. I'm talking about first 5 under in this game as well. That's where I would go here. What do you think, Conor? Detroit, Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I haven't bet this one, but that's kind of my lean. I might stay off here in this game. The Royals team total isn't as good as it was the last few days, and I don't know if they'll be able to hit that well against minus 120 over 4.5. Yeah, and they've seen Mize a few times. A lot of guys. Benintendi's hot, 2 for 4 with a homer, 3 for 6 Perez. And yeah, Tigers haven't hit lefties, but they've hit Bubek here. Cabrera's 3 for 4, 2 for 5. Castro. Just a difficult game. I could see runs, or I could see it. Yeah, a first 5 under 4.5. I lean that way, but I'm just probably going to stay away.
All right, nothing wrong with that. All right, next up, we've got the Houston Astros, Texas Rangers, the Battle of Texas wrapping up. Christian Javier, Mike Fultonevich, your pitching matchup here. Houston currently around a minus 160, a road favorite here in Globe Life Park in Texas. The total 9 here, shaded to the over in this game. Let's see how it goes here for Javier. Is a guy that's pretty for the most part, a decent season, 3.27 ERA for the Astros. We'll see if it carries over to this start. Look, there's going to be times during the season where you start to see these teams, Conor, and all they do is game after game after game, they go over the total. And right now, that's what we've got with this Houston team right now. They're just going over the total every game. Their lineup is smoking. Their pitching's been kind of erratic. And look, even their bullpen, hasn't been great the last few games, Houston. So they've been giving up runs late. We know Texas's bullpen ain't any good. So Houston's always capable of scoring against them. And I think you're going to see them do damage here against Mike Fultonevich. You know my thoughts on Fultonevich. We've been going against him either from a side or a totals perspective all season long. And I'm going to keep doing it. 5.18 ERA overall. His last 3 starts have been even worse. 7 runs allowed in his last 12 innings of work. Absolutely terrible. Not good. And the one thing I'll say about Javier, good numbers overall, but not quite as sharp the last few games. He struggled a little bit more. 5 runs allowed to the Blue Jays, 3 runs allowed to Texas, 3 runs in just 5 innings against Oakland. As long as Texas can get you 3 or 4, I think there's a good chance that Houston can take care of the rest. Texas bullpen no good. Houston's bullpen has actually trended downward a little bit the last few games. So I like over the total here with Houston and Texas in this one, over 9. Connor, what's your take?
Yeah, Astro games have been going over. I just don't like Fultonevich at all. I know the Astros gave it up, that bullpen. So I'm going to go Astros first 5 here, bring it down to maybe probably minus 110, 115. I just don't want the Rangers. They won yesterday. They got some runs. Javier, you're right, has looked really, really good early. Hasn't much lately, but I just can't take Fultonevich. He's just a pass for me. I know there's some plus price here with the Rangers. But I agree with you. I think a little of the value is the full game over. I like the Astros team total 4.5 with something good. You got to get to 5.5 today. The 4.5 is minus 135. I just don't want to take that. But lean that way for the team total as well. The Astros over 4.5.
Yeah, someone pointed out in the chat the Tigers 5-0 last 5 versus a lefty. Be careful with that record. That is true, but their production is good against lefties. So they've had a lot of good.
They were dead last. OPS, everything until lately, until the last few weeks, they were dead last. And I just checked that like about a week ago. Yeah.
So they're getting a little better, but
they're moving up.
Their production is still 2.11 average and 2.91 ERA. So just they've had some things go their way. They've had some bullpen meltdowns for the opponent. They've had good enough pitching or bullpen pitching on their side. It's so just it's good, but I still that's still track record overall for them offensively against lefties is still bothersome for me. What do you think? Arizona, Colorado here. Next up, we've got Widener and Gray on the mound here. Colorado minus 135 to minus 140. Home favorites, and these totals now they're getting up there in Colorado. We're starting to see it warm up there too, and that just means even more runs. This total opened 11. I'm seeing 11.5 now, and even 12 is starting to show up here in terms of the total in this baseball game with the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. Maybe it can get there. We certainly did yesterday. We know Arizona's trying to work their lineup back into health. We'll see if they can keep it going. They did get their bats going in the game yesterday against Colorado, but fell short 7-6. We'll see if they can bring that offense and bring that thunder to the lineup here. Taylor Widener on the mound in this game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Not exactly enamored with him long term, but look, overall this season 2.82 ERA. John Gray coming into this start, he's actually lost 3 of his last 4 starts. And he did get rocked a little bit by Arizona when he faced them in April. 5 runs, 10 hits, and 6 innings in that game. But against at Coors Field, has pitched better than against Arizona when he faced them there. His overall record against Arizona, though, not great. 5.05 ERA lifetime against the Diamondbacks. So just a really, really tough game overall because Gray's track record long-term against the Diamondbacks is not the best. Don't want to lay this price with him or a very, very poor Colorado team, although Arizona is not much better. I'm not overly enthralled with Taylor Widener long-term, although in minimal at-bats, he has shut down the Rockies. I don't know, maybe a slight lean to Arizona first 5, but other than that, this is a game I'm probably going to stay well away from. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay off as well. I think the D-backs at a plus price might be good, like you said, first 5. I took it yesterday and the bullpens imploded. I just see a 6.5. These are pretty decent pitchers for their teams. I know they've been hit a little bit at times. Like you mentioned, they hit Gray. Peralta will give a Jack of the Day candidate. 16 for 34 with a couple homers. Marte's 11 for 24. Some guys that have hit him, I've seen him a lot, of course, being in division play. So I lean the first 5 under 6.5. It's minus 110. You got to get to 7 runs. I'll lean that way in the first 5 here.
All right. It is Dodgers and Giants. Next up, we've got Julio Urias for the Dodgers, and we've got Anthony DeSclafani. There we go. I'll say it the way Jose would want me to say it right there. Dodgers minus 140, road favorites, total 7.5 across the board in this one. Looks like maybe a first 5 under here. Look, DeSclafani is just mesmerizing. He keeps on keeping on right now for this Giants team. It's looking like one of the most one of the cheapest bargain starting pitching signings in the offseason right now. This guy for the Giants, he continues to be good. 2.03 ERA overall. Here in this ballpark in San Fran, 1.33 ERA, and the Giants are 3-0 in DeSclafani's previous 3 home starts. I think the Giants could be a look here, first 5 innings. I know it's Dodgers are a team that sometimes when they're in one of these grooves, one of these zones like they are now, winners of 6 straight games coming into today, you don't want to step in front of them. But I might consider it here. Like, he's got really good numbers against in this ballpark this season. They've won all 3 of his starts. Muncy is the only guy with any sort of somewhat good rec numbers against DeSclafani in the past, although limited sample size of 2 for 5. That's it. So I think DeSclafani can be serviceable here. And I'll say this about Arias. He's been solid himself. Don't get me wrong. 3.04 ERA. They've been winning with him for the most part, the Dodgers on the mound. But a couple of guys have hit him. Brandon Belt, 5 for 14, 2 home runs. And that's where I'm targeting a potential Jack of the Day candidate for me is Brandon Belt here for the San Francisco Giants. 5 for 14, 2 of those hits, 2 of those 5 hits, home runs. So keep an eye on that. I've definitely got that as a potential target. You've got Posey 3 for 10, Crawford 3 for 10. It's a couple of bats that have done some damage against Urias. Give me the Giants here, first 5, and a smaller lean, first 5 under as well in this game. But I like the Giant first 5 a little bit more from a side perspective at a nice price as well. Connor, what do you think? Dodgers, Giants?
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think this is probably a big spot, a good one too. Dodgers took the first 2 games for the Giants, first 5. And the Dodgers bullpen's pitching a little bit better. Can that sustain? We don't know, but they go on these runs where their bullpen's finally pitching better. Kenley Jansen. So maybe a Giants instead of full game. Yeah, first 5 at plus 125 would be the look. Urias has been really, really good. He's been one guy that's been consistent for the Dodgers. He's 6-1. I'm with you. I'll just keep it first 5, under 4 here, minus 120, Dodgers, Giants. I don't see runs early.
All right, we've got Oakland and the LA Angels next up. It's Sean Manaea and Dylan Bundy on the mound here in this one. Current price has the Oakland Athletics right now, right around even money, minus 110. Total 8.5 right now, shaded to the over. You could hear the giggle in my voice when I mentioned what the line was here, because it's an absolutely outrageous line. Again, how many times do I have to say this right now about these 2 teams and the direction they're going in right now? They're totally going in different directions. Oakland's a really good team. The Angels are not. And the Angels, you can tell now what this team is without Mike Trout. We're seeing it on full display right now. You take him out of that, off that team, and it is completely a different team. Simple as that. Oh, Jimmy Gomez, sorry, I missed your comment here. What do you guys think about not overthinking it, playing first 5 under? Yeah, I like first 5 under still more than the full game. But to Connor's point, don't be scared with the full under, because the Dodgers' pen is pitching better. The Giants' pen, though, is still a little shaky. So that's where you would get a little bit worried about it. But maybe split it up. I often do that. But getting back to Oakland here, look, Oakland's already won the first 2 games. I get it. The team looking to avoid a sweep angle, but I like that with good teams, that angle, not teams that are struggling like the LA Angels right now. And you talk about struggling, Dylan Bundy's struggling right now for the LA Angels. 6.02 ERA's gone way up in the last 3 starts. He's been dreadful. He's given up 10 runs in his last 5 innings of work. That is absolutely hideous. 7.08 ERA now is what he has here at Angel Stadium, which just isn't very good. Look, I get it. Sean Manaea is a very, very shaky suspect pitcher as well. We don't know what we're going to get from him. A couple of good starts, a couple of brutal starts. But 3 of the last 5 starts for him, he's given up 3 runs or less. He is a lefty. Who doesn't hit lefties very well? Oh, yeah, the LA Angels. That's right. Although they did hit him twice last year, but again, that was a totally different season. They got 4 runs off him in both starts. In fact, Angels won both of those games. I don't care. That was last year. This is this year. Angels are bad right now. Angels are struggling. Oakland's the better team. It's a good price. They're not hitting lefties consistently. The Angels. Dylan Bundy is hot garbage right now for the Angels. Just all makes sense to me. Oakland for me, first 5 and full game. What do you think here, C-Mac?
I'll do it the third day in a row. I kind of maybe not all three, but A's first five, half a run. Of course, run line, the full game plus 145. I want that Angels bullpen. And maybe and the team total. I did all three again yesterday, did the first two games. My guy Al Bundy, he's doing bad here. He's 0-5. The shoe salesman, maybe down the line, if he doesn't continue here, his his pitching. He's got a 6 ERA. I mean, at times he can be good, but these A's, these Olsen, Chapman, Laureano, they're all locked in. They're hitting great, so I'm probably going to go the triple up again here with the A's. The Angels just kind of free fall. Trout's out. The pitching's bad. The bullpen's bad. Yeah, and I think they could be going on one of these bad losing streaks. So give me the A's again here.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Oakland looks pretty cheap in my mind here in this game. All right, we got the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres here. Justin Dunn for the Mariners, Yu Darvish for the San Diego Padres. San Diego, just a huge price here. It's getting up there with Seattle against these good teams. Minus 280 is what or minus 260 to minus 280. It's basically going in that range here. The total in this game right now sitting at 7. Pretty much across the board, 7 shaded to the over in this game. Look, Yu Darvish, Padres saying we need to keep upgrading this rotation. Darvish and Snell were the key offseason pieces, and Darvish is delivering for them. 1.81 ERA. Padres are 8-1 when he takes the mound this season. 3-0 in his last 3 starts. 5-1 in his home starts at Petco Park this season. And I don't trust this Seattle lineup at the moment to do much of anything against him. We're seeing the Seattle lineup, Connor, during their current 5-game losing streak. 1-0, 2-1, 4.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this lineup has gone to sleep, and that's kind of what we expected. This ain't a great lineup, 1 through 9 by any stretch. San Diego's red hot. Again, you do have a team trying to avoid a sweep, but as I've just said in the last game, I want a team that's good. I want a team that's decent, like a Blue Jays today. I like the Blue Jays to avoid a sweep because they got the good arm, and they're still a pretty good baseball team. I don't feel that way about Seattle. I don't feel that way about the Angels without Mike Trout in the lineup and with a bad pitcher like Dylan Bundy on the mound. So this is a different situation. Seattle's not a good team right now. This is not they're trying to avoid the sweep. We got to bet them angle. No, not with this team. Not against this pitcher, Yu Darvish. San Diego or nothing, but obviously there's not much value. So pass for me, but wouldn't want to make a case for this underdog. What about you, Connor?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this game. Maybe if you think the Padres keep hitting their team total over 4.5 plus money, maybe look here when I always say don't go run line. The run line doesn't have value. It's minus 120. If you think they're going to get 5 or more here off Dunn, go with the Padres team total. And Dunn's going on 4 days rest. He pitched pretty well his last time out, 9 strikeouts. I like him at times. Sometimes he walks guys. He's got all right stuff. I just don't love it. If I were to be on anything in this game, Padres team total. But I've had a little problem with them with team totals. It seems like when I take them. So I'm probably just going to stay long away from this game.
Yeah, San Diego or pass, but again, team total over is the path. That's the path. If you feel you got to bet San Diego in some form in this game, team total over, there's your pathway where you actually, what would you rather do? Lay minus 280? Why lay minus 260 with San Diego? You could lay a minus like 130 or something on their team total instead, right? Doesn't that make sense? It does to me. All right, Sunday night baseball here. Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. They're playing today too, by the way. St. Louis Blues trying to avoid a sweep against Colorado.
They're get swept.
I think they will get swept, but nevertheless, that's hockey. This is baseball. St. Louis minus 140 in this one. Total 8.5, pretty much across the board in this game. Look, St. Louis 3 of their last 4 they've won. Split the first 2 games against the Cubs. Bounced back for them against the Cubs yesterday. Michaelis didn't pitch deep into the game, but he was not bad for his first start in like years. So give him credit for that. We'll see how Adam Wainwright goes here. He's coming off just an absolutely abysmal start against San Diego. And we were on over the total, I believe, Conor and I, in that game with the Padres when Wainwright was on the mound last time. 8 hits, 3 home runs, 13-3. They lost that game. It was absolutely brutal. Just nothing you can say other than it was a terrible performance, he said. So there you go. He owned it after he's a good veteran guy. He owned it. He knew he stunk in that game. Can he bounce back here? Look, if I'm going to back Wainwright, it's going to be at Busch Stadium, because his overall record is 4.63 ERA, but he's got a 3.0 ERA at home this season. Cardinals have a winning record, 3-2 in his 5 home starts at Busch Stadium this season. And I don't trust Zach Davies still. Now, look, his last 3 starts, he's been better. We'll give him that. And yet his overall ERA is still 5.58, but on the road is where he's been absolutely hideous. 4 road starts. Cubs are 1-3 in those 4 road starts, and 9 runs basically for every 3 innings pitched is what he's averaging on the road. 12 hits in every 3 innings pitched for Zach Davies on the road this season. Think about that. In every 3 innings on the road, he's averaging 12 hits. That's really, really bad. That's absolutely awful in terms of his numbers on the road here. And then you look at some of these numbers. Matt Carpenter, 12 for 25, 3 home runs, 480 average. Nolan Arenado, 5 for 16, 1 home run, 312 average. Paul Goldschmidt, 4 for 10, 400 average against Zach Davies. Yadi Molina, 7 for 21, 333 average. That's really, really not good. That's not good. That's sounding the alarm bells kind of numbers and statistics for Zach Davies against this Cardinals lineup. It's St. Louis first 5 full game for me. That would be the only way I would go in this game. I know Wainwright can be a little dicey. I might back it up with a little small over bet as well, 8.5, just because Wainwright, just in case Wainwright, because I remember backing Wainwright at home against the Mets. It was a while ago, and I won. St. Louis won, but he still was not great in that game, and the offense bailed him out. So I might add a little over as well, but I think I like the side with St. Louis a little bit more. First 5 full game. Connor, what do you think? Cubs, Cardinals, Sunday night baseball here.
Yeah, Sunday night baseball. We had a bunch of runs, game 1, and 2-1 game yesterday. That under we kind of talked about. Zach Davies has not looked good, especially on the road. He's looked better, though, in May. He's done pretty good in his last few starts. We talk about Wainwright. We want him at home. This is where we want to take him. But he's 2-4 with a 4.63 ERA. He's getting old. He's kind of an old guy. Old man Morton, old man Wainwright. He's 40 years old. Still pitched pretty good. Still has that curveball. We'll see. The Cubs don't hit him too well. Ian Happ, who's going to be my guy. My guys are in this game. He's 8 for 14 with 4 home runs. He's only one Cub that's kind of hit him. The rest aren't hitting great. Rizzo 226, Bryant 242, and they've seen him a lot, obviously, throughout the years. Baez, I'm with you. This would be a Cards first 5 full game, and I kind of lean the over 8.5. I just have a feeling there'll be runs in this game. And you mentioned all the Cardinals that hit Davies here, so I lean the over 8.5 full game here, and maybe the team totals as well. Cardinals over 4.5 plus 102, Cubs over 3.5 minus 124. So might look that route as well.
Yeah, that could be a route too. Cardinals team total over, then you don't have to worry about Wainwright as much, do you? So you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. The team totals are there for a reason, and the reason is I think the Cardinals are going to hit the pitcher they're facing, but I'm not fully on board with their own starter getting the job done, in this case Wainwright. So that's where the team total comes into play. But I still think Wainwright can neutralize the Cubs. And look, he's a veteran guy. He's got a lot of pride. He takes, ownership of his he's always been that way. He cares about how good or bad he pitches. And after an embarrassment like he had against San Diego, you're probably going to try whatever best of Adam Wainwright he still has in the gas tank. Maybe you'll see it here tonight. Back home, he's familiar with Busch. He pitches better there. We'll see if he can turn it around. Good stuff, Connor. That is the Sunday card. Great analysis. Before we get to best bets to wrap up the show, and a reminder, we're back in an hour at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with the NBA closing time show. We will break down the 4 NBA Sunday playoff games and break those down in an hour. Me, Connor, Ski, and Dutch will be with you, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll get to best bets in just a second, plus Jack of the Day. And before we do that, though, as we always do at this time of the show, we pause to get this message from Manscaped. them out. Promo code Pub Sports and mybookie.ag. Promo code Pub Sports. NHL, NBA playoffs are here. MLB daily, UFC every week. PGA Championship wrapping up. But hey, there's going to be another golf major next month. Father's Day weekend tradition. You know what it is. U.S. Open. Looking forward to that as well. So lots going on. Check out mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. Mybookie.ag. Promo code Pub Sports. Yours truly will not be on the MLB show, by the way, tomorrow. It is COVID vaccine day for me tomorrow. So actually I won't be on either of the two shows on the channel, but I will be back Tuesday. And of course, I'll be with you in an hour for the NBA show, but just hoping to miss one day. It shouldn't be more than that. I'm a tough son of a gun, even though I don't look it. I will survive. There's nothing this freaking needle or shot will do to me to put me under or keep me off the show for more than one day. So just tomorrow, and I should be back Tuesday. Jack of the day, Brandon Belt against Julio Urias. I'm sticking to that one. He's got a good track record against him. Brandon Belt, San Francisco Giants for Jack of the day. Connor Mack, I think you hit yours yesterday. Franmil Reyes, right? Cleveland Indians. He got the job done, right? Early in that game as well. Good call there. What's your Jack of the day today?
Well, it's a big show.
Jack of the day.
Forgot about
All
that.
Right.
There you go.
I'm gonna stick to the same game. These two guys, the Ian Happ, Carpenter. I think one of these. They got 3 home runs, 13 for 16, hitting 500. Happ's 8 for 14 with 4 bombs off Carpenter. Those two guys, I think, sprinkle a little on both those guys. We can get one of them to hit Jack of the day, maybe.
There you go. All right, and best bets now for this show. Connor Mack, we'll start with you. What do you like for your best bet on this Sunday?
I talked about the A's. Get the A's, however you want to do it. First 5 full game, team total. I like them all again today. But give me the Dodgers Giants, first 5 under 4 here. I just think there's no runs. Both these teams haven't hit much in San Francisco. Urias, DeSclafani. I think it stays under 4. Dodgers Giants, first 5 under 4.
All right, Dodgers Giants, first 5 under 4 for C-Mac with his best bet. And C-Mac mentioned my best bet right before that. Oakland, minus 110 against the LA Angels. This is the price I like. Like, I bet Oakland yesterday. I didn't love it as much. I didn't love Bassett as much. I didn't love the price as much. This I love. Manaea, look, he's had a couple of rough starts here and there, but still, he's a lefty. They're not hitting them right now. Bundy's terrible. Oakland's a much better form right now. Cheap price, reasonable price. Oakland Athletics, minus 110 against the LA Angels. That'll be my best bet for this Sunday MLB card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. Connor and I are back along with Ski and Dutch for the NBA Closing Time Show at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So make sure you join us for that. And tomorrow, MLB Closing Time, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific with Connor Mack and Ski Profit, who is the Monday guest. They'll be along to talk baseball with no me tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will be back Tuesday on the baseball show. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll talk to you in just an hour from now. NBA Closing Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, right here on Pub Sports Radio.